have to watch this live if you want to learn how to get a natural lift to your eye, because today Katie and I are lucky. We're so lucky because we're joined by facial exercise expert Deborah.
Hello.
This is so exciting. So in today's live, Deborah is going to be sharing all of her expertise on how we can lift our hooded eyes just using facial exercises. So Deborah's going to do a little intro. And then what I would say is, if you're interested in learning this technique to lift a hooded eye, save this video and you can use it to follow along at home. So we're very excited. So Deborah, welcome.
Thank you.
To our Beauty in the Boutique Live.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me along.
So Deborah, how do we get started?
Right.
And how do we know these actually work?
Okay. Well, consistency is the answer. You have to do this kind of thing really regularly.
Okay.
And just one exercise is not going to make all the difference in the end. You've got to really make sure that your lymph system is flowing properly, that you're massaging your face properly, and that you're exercising your face properly.
So are we going to learn that today? Are you going to teach us the lymph drainage? Is that what we need to know?
I'm going to do a little bit of lymph around the eyes, but mainly it's going to be about the exercises today.
Love it. Now, when you say consistency is key, are we talking every day, twice a day, once a week?
Ideally about 5 times a week. You know, we all need a rest. Our muscles need a rest. Even when we're working our bodies out, we need a rest. So maybe take the weekends off, but really work maybe Monday to Friday. And if you can almost say to yourself, first thing in the morning, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes, 10 minutes to do these exercises. It almost becomes like cleaning your teeth.
Just part of your morning routine.
Yeah, exactly.
Routine.
This is very exciting. Okay, so let's pretend we've woken up in the morning. I mean, I don't know about you, Deborah, but I just wake up like this.
Me too.
Oh, yes. True beauties. And me too.
So we're in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, we've brushed our teeth. What are we doing in the mirror? Do we need a mirror to do this?
Ideally, a mirror is a really good idea, because even I've been doing them for quite a long time. Still, sometimes I get it a bit wrong and I think, I've got to adjust something just to make it more effective.
Okay.
So if you can get a little mirror, that's really, really helpful.
Okay.
And also, if you've got quite dry skin, or if you've got skin that's particularly very sensitive and thin around the eyes, it's a good idea to use a little bit of oil.
Okay.
You don't want to be slipping, but you want a little bit of grip, because what we're going to be looking at is lengthening the muscle, almost back to where it was naturally in the beginning. And that's what's going to give you that open-eyed look.
Oh, okay, because when people do like really elongating like Pilates movements, strengthen the muscles. Yeah. Like elongate the muscles. Is that the same as it in the face then?
It's very different in the face actually, because in the body, the muscle is attached from bone to bone. Yes. And that's what moves everything. Yes. In the skin, in the face, and in the neck, the muscles generally are attached from bone to the skin, which enables us to make expressions. So what we're going to be doing with the muscles is lengthening them back to where they originally should have been. This is about softening fine lines, bringing radiance to the skin.
So will this actually soften fine lines as well as giving us an eye lift?
Absolutely, yes. But it's got to be done consistently. That's the key. Okay. You can't just do it once and think I'm done.
I suppose it's like going to the gym, isn't it? You go to the gym, you don't just go once.
So if we were doing this Monday to Friday every day, how long until we see an effect?
Honestly, I would say you'll see the effect immediately. Yeah. But in terms of it lasting longer and longer and longer, it's like muscle memory. I would say about 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Yeah. And then you'd need to consistently do that.
Consistently do it, but then it doesn't matter if you miss the odd day, because that muscle memory is there. And you can immediately go, right, I'm just going to close my eyes for 10 seconds. Yeah. My eyebrow's back to where it needs to be. So because it is muscle memory.
This is going to be very exciting. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, Katie, this is exciting. Yeah. Okay. So does it matter if our face isn't clean? Because I've got.
Ideally, that's why I'm saying do it in the morning. Because if you've got a clean face, and clean hands are really important, because you can just put lots of bacteria onto your face otherwise. Yeah. But ideally, first thing in the morning, no makeup. Yeah. and a little bit of oil is perfect, but you don't want to be slipping. You just want that little bit of grip. But there are some exercises you can do that you don't need to take your makeup off. But this one, actually, you don't necessarily need to take your makeup off, but it's better if you do.
Okay, cool. Right, okay, let's get started.
Okay.
So I don't need to take my makeup off, I'm just checking.
No,
we're all right for today. For today's purpose, we can have our makeup on.
You can.
Okay,
you can.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to go through 3 main exercises today. Imagine you're in the gym. I'm going to do a bit of warm up for the muscle, then we're going to lengthen the muscle, and then we're going to cool down and do a tiny little bit of lymphatic drain at the end. Now, the important thing with these exercises is that you feel a bit of a stretch in your muscle, but it's important you don't feel pain. If you feel pain, either stop or just reduce the amount of stretch that you're doing in your skin, okay?
Now, I'm going to hold up this that says the exercises, because if you save this video, you can then follow along at home and you'll know the exact part of the video to come back to follow along at home and do these with us every day. So the exercises, they're starting.
Right, here we go. So the first exercise, now I might need a tiny bit of room, Casey. Let's just have a look. I don't want to be elbowing you out of the way. That could be the end of a really lovely friendship. Right, here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is get you to warm up this eye muscle. And the eye muscle needs opening up before you can start lifting it. So I'm going to ask you to put your hands into a C shape. Put your fingers at the top of your hairline and very gently come down to your eyebrows. Now, when you're on your eyebrows, you want to ding deep in to the into the eye muscle. You don't want to be fiddling around with the skin because you're then going to stretch the skin. You want to be into your muscle and then very lightly pull that eyebrow away towards your ears, because that's actually going to open up your 11 lines as well. You then take your thumbs and put them next to your nose, and then you want to create a vacuum with the rest of your C. So basically you're locking in your eye muscle, okay? And then what we're going to do, we're going to close our eyes 6 times. Now, when you close your eye, you don't want to scrunch it like this because you're going to make the eye muscle even more tight. You want to close it and almost imagine your eyes pushing forward as you close. And as you do that, you should feel a stretch in your eye muscle. So make sure you're nice and tight, and then you close your eyes for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you keep the eye shut for a count of 6, and then you open your eyes as wide as you can for a count of 6, okay? And then you very gently take your fingers away. Now that,
you can feel it, can't you?
Could you feel that stretch? So you need, I'm not going to do it now, but you need to do that 3 times over per exercise. Okay, so when you will really feel like you've opened your eye muscles up.
Yeah. That's
amazing. Good. That's good. Now what we're going to do, we're going to raise the eyebrows up. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to take your first finger, put it just inside the eyebrow, hook your other finger next to the eyebrow, and again, dive into the muscle. It's about muscular lifting and stretching, and you're going to lift, keeping this in place, hooking that muscle down.
You're going to take a little bit nearer so people can see.
You're going to take this finger and you are going to lift that muscle to the middle of the eyebrow. You're going to do that 10 times. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if you see, can you see how that's lifted compared to that side?
Goodness. I can on you, Deborah.
That's amazing.
But this is what I'm talking about, consistency.
Wow.
It's about that muscle memory, and then it will come back to you.
Oh, Deborah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we're going to do the other side now, because we don't want to be asymmetrical. No. So again, you pin your muscle down, because the root of the eyebrow starts here. So you want to lift this area. So you pin
Where
that
does
muscle.
It start? Sorry?
It starts here.
By your
by the root of your nose.
Right, okay.
And it comes out and also up into the centre of your eyebrow. So again, you're going to pin the muscle. You're going to hook this finger deep dive into the muscle. It's about feeling the muscle and the bone, not just the skin. And then you're going to imagine opening up that muscle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you let that go. And can you see how that's opened the eye up?
That looks higher.
And it will be. Sometimes you carry more tension on one side of your face than the
I didn't do
other.
that one properly, Deborah, because I was moving it forwards. But I can see that
the difference. Yeah. And actually, sometimes we do carry more tension on one side. And if you then look at your eyebrow and think, hang on, that's lower than the other one, just do it more times on the other side.
Like I'm doing this every day of my life from now on.
I'm not coming to work anymore.
Sorry, I'm late.
I'm just doing this.
Honestly, Deborah, that's amazing.
Well, it does feel good, and it feels, doesn't it, that your eyes are actually waking up. Because, of course, as you begin to open those muscles out, your lymphatic system is starting to move. So actually it's going to be bathing your eye in lots and lots of lovely lymphatic fluid. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually lift this part of the eyebrow and this part of the eyebrow. So what we're going to do is take our 3 fingers, place them on the eyebrow. Now again, girls, it's about deep diving into the muscle. It's not about just sitting lightly on the skin. And don't be frightened that you're going to stretch your skin. You're not, because the skin renews itself every 28 days. This is about your muscles being engaged and lengthened. So we actually go into the muscle, and I'm going to ask you in a minute to close your eyes 10 times. Now, it's the same kind of close, so you're actually closing your eyes together and almost pushing your eyes out as you close them. You're not scrunching your eyes together. So here we go. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and really push those eyes out, 9 and 10. And now what we're going to do with our eyes closed, we're going to look down at our nose, and engaging in the muscle of the forehead, we're going to push up through the skin, through the forehead, right up to the hairline, where we're going to give a little massage in that hairline, because everything interconnects, and then we let go. And if you can see, the eyebrows are lifting.
That's
okay,
incredible.
And then finally what we're going to do, we're going to take that really hard part of our hand. It's called the ulna. It's that bony part of our hand. We're going to engage at the edge of our eyebrows, put our hands on our head, again sink into the muscle, pull the muscle slightly to the right and up. And this time we are going to close our eyes and look down at our noses and just count for a count of 10 while we're looking down at our noses. So here we go. Closing the eye, you should feel that stretch in the corner of your eye. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And very slowly bring your hands away. And can you see how those eyebrows have lifted?
Wow.
Okay.
Deborah, just to, I was a little bit confused on that when you said pull to the right.
Right, okay. So you basically engage with this corner part of your eyebrow, okay?
Yeah.
Put your hands on your head.
Yeah.
And then you bring the hands very slightly, those hands away, almost like you're creating a cat's look to your eyes. So away and up very slightly, and then you close your eyes, and you should feel that stretch in this corner. Can you feel that now? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense,
So, and then you let go.
Yeah.
And then what you do, because you will have tensed your forehead, you just take your fingers and you bring them to the middle of your forehead, and again, sink into the muscle, because what you're doing, you're opening the muscle out, and you very slowly engage with that muscle and just unstress it. And you come right in to your temporalis muscle, you give that a little massage, and you do that 3 times over. And so any kind of line that you've created in your forehead will go.
It feels so relaxing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. And then what a really, really nice thing to do, just at the end of it, is just take your ring finger and very lightly tap underneath your eyes. And again, this will just drain off any kind of excess lymphatic fluid that's sitting there. And then you just come up and round underneath your eyebrows, underneath your eyes, underneath your eyebrows, and just press either side of your nose. That's your main drainage point for your lymphatic fluid around your eyes. And then just take your fingers and as light as a feather, just come over your face, and again, down the side of your neck to above your clavicles, and just press in there very lightly, and that will just drain any kind of lymphatic fluid that's sitting there that you've moved from your exercises.
Almost feel it, can't you?
So
if you feel actually some fluid going down your throat, that means your lymphatics are draining.
So would these exercises help with puffy eyes then as well?
Definitely. I mean, again, there's lots of things that cause puffy eyes, but certainly that's one exercise that's lovely. If your hands can be cold, if your fingers can be cold, it's a lovely way of just stimulating that lymphatic fluid even more. But the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, so you always have to move your lymphatic system.
Because sometimes, like, my eyes, if they're really puffy, they'll look a lot more hooded than what they are.
Yes.
It's just the lymphatic. It's just
it is the lymphatic system. But what I would say to you, I mean, these are really good exercises to do every day. But basically, you've got something like 300 lymph nodes in your head and 600 in your body. So if you can imagine,
a lot in my head then.
Yeah. So when you're ill, when you're a bit run down, if you have too much salt, it will all show in your face, and that's what can cause heavy jowls, puffiness. But your neck is the super highway to your face, so everything has to be loose in the neck and in the head for these exercises to work really well.
So just to clarify, because I will save this video and watch it back at home, and if everyone else does this as well, it'll be just so cool. So we do these exercises that you've shown us 3 times.
Yes.
Every exercise 3 times, 5 days a week.
Yes.
Now, when you said about loosening up this, what is there an exercise we need to do before we even start the hooded eye one then?
I would give you 2 key exercises, okay? To get your lymphatic system moving, because it doesn't have a pump.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do, if you're able to, grab hold of your boobs in the morning.
And
make
sure they're your own.
Well, the choice is yours, Katie. But hold on to them.
Yeah.
And then just
Is
lightly.
this where you do fart sounds?
Not on camera, I hope. Not on camera. No. But you jump up and down, just jump up and down, and that gets your whole lymphatic system moving. If you can't jump or you have problems with jumping, just go up and down on the balls of your feet, because that immediately starts your whole lymphatic system. Think of it as taking the rubbish out of your body.
That's it, because you say it doesn't have a pump, that really makes sense. So where's it going to go?
So is the pump under our arms then? Is that why we're doing that?
We've got lots of lymphatic nodes actually in our body, but we've got some in our axillary nodes. No, I'm just saying hold on to your boobs, they don't hit you in the face when you're jumping up and down.
I don't really have big boobs.
Well, hold on to them anyway, Katie. It's all right, for your sake.
There's a pump underneath.
Well, there is actually. One of our nodes is here, but it's just to stop your boobs from hitting you in the face, that's all. I'm feeling really uncomfortable. But you're on the right track.
That was to squeeze out the lymphatic.
Well, that's a really good way. But actually, a lovely way of... There's lots and lots of ways to lengthen your neck. But if you think we've got so many lymph nodes in our neck, and also this is the main area for pumping oxygen and blood into our muscles, which give us that lovely radiant look. So a great way of stretching your neck is by... And again, I just want to say this should never hurt. You should always feel a stretch. If you feel pain, stop or lessen the stretch. So basically, again... You actually put one hand onto your chest, the other hand on top. You take your chin to the ceiling really slowly and you count for 10. So you bring your neck up. You should all feel, stretch. You can count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring your head down really slowly. And if you really want to stretch this neck out, bring your hand under the clavicle. So you've stretched the front of your neck out. Again, sink into your clavicle, bring your head to the side. And again, stretch your chin up very slowly. You'll feel that stretch right down the side of your neck. And count for 10 with that one. and then always come back very slowly. It can make you feel a little bit lightheaded if you're not used to doing it.
Great for tech neck.
Great for tech neck. So many people talk about turkey neck. Actually, often turkey neck is skin sitting on a muscle that is compacted. As soon as you start stretching your muscle out,
and so ideally we'd be doing these stretches and that little shake beforehand before we do our hooded eye exercises.
You'll see a much better result if you can get your lymphatic flow going and you can get your blood and lymph flow going in your neck.
And it just feels amazing. I feel
does.
Really like going for a massage.
Yes.
Oh, Deborah, this is like life-changing. Life-changing.
I can do before and after.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think that's the trick though, isn't it, Deborah? If we took like pictures before and then did a daily challenge.
Yes.
And then took an after photo after 4 weeks.
Absolutely. That would be amazing because you will, because the changes are very subtle, but what you'll tend to find people saying is, blimey, you look well.
Yeah.
What have you done? You know, have you had a facial? Have you been on holiday? But actually what's happening is your facial muscles are starting to sit where they should sit. Your lymphatic system is flowing. Your muscles in your neck and your head are mobile. Because did you know, if you're tense in the back of your neck, you often get forehead wrinkles. If you can actually untense your neck and the back of your neck, often your forehead wrinkles just disappear. So there's so many things that I could talk to you about, but it is fascinating.
I mean, thumbs up if you want Deborah to come back. I mean, here's 2 already.
Oh.
Here's 4. So if you would love Deborah to come back and teach us some more. But I must ask, Deborah, how did you get into doing facial exercise? You know, what made you want to learn it and then become a teacher, and what's your story?
Well, in a nutshell, I'm a facial massage therapist. I love seeing how people's faces change as you manipulate muscles and you drain the lymphatic system. But what I really wanted to do was help people understand in between treatments and just from a day-to-day basis what they could do with their own faces to create that lift, that radiance in their faces. So I went off and trained in it and love it. I love it.
It's something you don't need anything to do it with particularly.
No.
We can all do at home.
Absolutely.
You don't need any fancy things to buy
And it's a great way to start the day. You know, I really notice when I've done my facial exercises in the morning how my face and skin look compared to the days that I don't do it. Or maybe I'll go for a couple of days where I'm really busy and I don't do it and I think, ooh, my skin just looks so much duller.
It's like no makeup, isn't it? It's that kind of... But also, I think when you are doing something for yourself, first thing in the morning, you almost feel like you're winning for the rest of the day because you've done something for yourself.
Yes. Well, there's something almost sort of meditative about it because you're having to sit still, you're having to look at yourself, you're having to focus on what you're doing, and there is something really, really lovely about it.
It's mindfulness, isn't it?
It is.
It doesn't take a long time, is it? It's
no.
not something you've got to do for hours.
Absolutely not. And you know, as long as you do there's lots and lots of the lymphatic things I could talk about, lots of other ways of really opening that neck up that I could talk about. But essentially, you know, it's about focusing on the areas that are a problem for you or that are a challenge for you, that you want to change or just uplift a bit, and you can do it so naturally. I mean, this muscle, for example, the platysma muscle, comes from here to here. So of course the shorter that gets, the more jowly you're going to become, the heavier your face is going to feel. So even
if we did those stretching exercises like you showed us, do you think that will just
massively
lengthen our
your neck and it will also give you a much more defined jawline because you're literally lengthening everything out. So yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, Deborah, so do you think you'd come back and teach us how to do, get really strong jawlines?
I'd love to come back. I really would. I've really enjoyed this morning.
Deborah, can you just come here and be here all the time, please? Just move in.
Actually, it sounds quite an appealing thought.
Well, I mean... Deborah, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just trying to think. I did make some notes. Actually, there's so much I want to talk about, but I don't want to bore everybody. Yeah, I think essentially the beauty of facial exercises, these are about creating radiance in the face, putting the muscles back where they need to be. It's about accepting the fact that we do have the odd line on our face, but there's a big difference between a line on a hydrated, radiant skin and a wrinkle on a dehydrated skin that hasn't been looked after and hasn't been massaged. When you've got massage, and when you're lengthening your muscles, you're massaging your muscles, you're creating that blood flow, that lymphatic drain that gives you that lovely radiance.
Well, we always love to end these lives with a little life tip, and usually, Katie, they're your life tips, aren't they?
I'm full of tips.
Go on then.
I've got a little life tip that I like to do that is slightly related to facial muscle, and that is when you're feeling a bit low or a bit not your chirpy self. If you fake a smile.
Yes.
Your brain doesn't know that a smile is your facial muscles, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real smile and a fake smile. And then when you smile, you're faking that smile. It actually gives you the feeling of happiness because your brain kicks in to be like, oh, you must be happy.
Yeah, you can't be miserable and have a smile on your face.
Yes, so true.
So it's that little...
And it lifts those depressor muscles. So actually it helps those depressor muscles to lengthen and you have a natural smile then anyway.
Oh, I love
the other thing, just on that little tip, because I was telling someone about that little smiling tip, because it is a facial little muscle.
Yeah.
And they said to me, oh, and another thing, if you smile and put your hands up in the air.
Yes.
Like you've just won, it sends another signal to the brain to be like, yeah,
win.
Ooh,
win,
fantastic.
Yeah,
I like
do it
that.
now at home.
Yeah,
like, see,
fantastic.
Literally, put a smile on your face, put your hands up and wave.
Yeah,
okay,
you're a winner.
No, honestly, that makes you feel happy, doesn't it?
It does actually.
Yeah.
It does.
When people are running and they win a race,
Yes, it's that
We're
euphoric
winning with
feeling,
Deborah
isn't it?
here.
We're winning.
Well, thank you so much for
Deborah.
inviting me. I've really enjoyed
It's
it.
been the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and if
you,
you've
girls.
loved what you've watched, please let us know if you would like Deborah back, because Deborah's very dear to us. Deborah has been, you've been a fan of Beauty and the Boutique for a long time, haven't you?
Huge fan. I just love the whole ethos of this organisation. It's amazing.
And a little secret how we all met. Well, years ago, Katie came into work and said, I met this really lovely lady.
That's you, Deborah.
Oh. That's Deborah.
Good to know.
And she came out, she actually crossed the street to say to Katie how much she loved what we were doing here at Beauty and the Boutique.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so nice. Yeah, this was years ago. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. What a boost. And then at Christmas, Katie and I went to a Christmas party together round your mate's house, and Deborah was there. So we were like, Katie was like, this was Deborah, this is how I met across the street.
Colliding.
So we were like,
gosh,
Deborah!
exactly.
And then we hit it off at that Christmas party,
Hugely, didn't we? We were just chatting
all
all
night.
evening.
And we didn't let you go, basically.
No.
Oh,
and then,
I was happy to stay there.
and then,
It was
then
great.
we were like, how can we make Deborah... Basically, because how can you not love Deborah?
How can we make her our friend?
How can we make Deborah our friend?
So lovely. Oh, that's so lovely.
So
well, I feel very privileged. I really do. And chuffed to bits.
We feel very
Thanks,
lucky.
and thank you for giving up your precious time.
Oh,
I
it's
really
a
appreciate
pleasure.
it,
It's a
Deborah.
pleasure. I've loved it actually.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, no, I'd love
Right,
to.
okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And don't forget, save this video, watch it back. Katie and I are going to be doing this as well.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Can't wait to see you in another live very soon. And hopefully Deborah will be joining us again soon for more facial exercises.
And remember, it's about consistency. Consistency.
We will do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah. Bye.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.